What kind of force, what vibes you in? What kind of force of life, what energy you in? How you seeing? How you looking?
And just the system is at fault. Train the people and take it like grain of salt, yeah. It's the system is at fault. Make you know I said this is a common assault. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, that was the new music from Pressure featuring Akae Beka off of Pressure's new CD, man. And this is the It's Your Perspective talk show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number, 340-201-9005. We're coming to you via YouTube. Our YouTube channel is It's Your Perspective talk show. What else we got, Soup? I want to give a quick shout out to CHS, class of 1982. More importantly, to all our past guests, thanks for being on the show. What else we got? We got our internet radio station, which is streaming this show right now. Go to for iOS and Android, go to the App Store or Google Play and download TuneIn, and then search for streaming live from the VI.com radio. You'll be hearing this show, and at about 9:05, you'll be hearing nothing but nonstop music, 24 hours a day. So, Soup, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Bless that mic, man.
Greetings to one and all. I might turn up. Greetings. Greetings. The greatest secret in life is that reality is nothing more than illusion. The physical world does not exist outside of our own belief system and the filter of our own minds. We are, in fact, subparticles of the Almighty experiencing creation itself. But as subparticles of the Almighty, we have also swayed over these creations. Everything you have experienced in life, every event, occurrence, object, and person is nothing more but a figment of your own thought, beliefs, and words. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. When we understand this, our entire world shifts, and we come to realize the true meaning of life is thus like a lucid dream. We have total control.
Yes, I Soup.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for that. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
All right, man. You hear clapping tonight. That's because we have a live audience in the studio. They're over there. Trust me, they're right there. So as we roll out here, we do have a special guest in the studio tonight. Let me flip her on here. There she is. Wave to the crowd. Her name is Angela Golden-Bryan. Thanks for coming out to the studio tonight and visiting us on the It's Your Perspective talk show. So how are you?
I'm outstanding. I'm fine.
You doing
Great,
fine?
great.
Doing fine. Okay, man.
Yes, that was a blessing. What you just read, oh, that was amazing.
Yes.
Give thanks.
And move that mic a little
A
closer.
little closer like this.
Yes.
Is that okay?
That's
Yeah.
perfect right there. That's
Yes,
perfect
all
right there. Well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
And
Thank you.
she brought an audience. We don't usually have an audience that often. Make some noise. A quiet audience, but they're here. So, Angela, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
And we just wanted to get you on the show here because I'm a social media junkie, and I see that you are doing all kinds of stuff. You are an author, international speaker,
Yeah.
and I think the last thing, Sue, I don't know if you saw that up here, this young lady is an actress.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct, right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, man.
It
So
is.
we're just gonna start from the top. You originally, I guess, I'm sure originally from St. Croix, but you did live here at a period of time.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I can tell you the love story. My father is one of the members of the audience.
Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Love
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, so he was born and raised here, Louis Golden, and so he and my mom came here, and I was what, 5? Yeah, so I grew up here, went to Claudio Marco,
Okay.
went to St. Patrick's, graduated from St. Joe's. So for me, St. Croix will always be home.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Beautiful home at that, man.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you kind of ventured on here a little bit after high school. And so when did all this stuff happen? I mean, I remember you from school here.
St. Joe's, right?
Yeah, St. Joseph's.
Yeah.
But did you have any of this aspirations back then to sort of do this, be an actress, international speaker, Any of this kind of stuff?
Well, one of my earliest childhood memories is me wanting to be Aretha Franklin. And my mother's like, you can't be Aretha Franklin because she already exists. So I figured, okay, I will pretend to be her. So yeah, I've always loved acting. I've always loved encouraging people, speaking, and writing.
Okay.
But I never really said, one day I'm going to grow up and publish a book. But I enjoyed writing and always did well in it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of start from the top here. So I guess we can attack each area.
Sure.
Let's talk about, you have 2 books here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those first.
Okay.
Introduce one.
Okay. Well, let's start with Fireburn, also known as Fireburn, right?
Yes, I.
The screenplay. And the way this one came about was that in 2010, as an actress, there weren't many jobs that I was auditioning for women of color.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my teachers said, write something for you and your friends. And I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do. And that also coincided with me being in Toastmasters, and I needed a speech. And they were like, write a speech. It needs to be true. It needs to be inspiring. So it's like the 2 things came together, me writing a story for Toastmasters.
Okay.
And that became an award-winning speech. And I was like, this needs to be a screenplay as well. So, the 2 just came together very beautifully.
Okay.
I actually started that back in 2010.
Okay.
And it wasn't published until 2018. So 8 years later. Now, I'm not that bad that it took me that long to write it.
Okay.
It's just that life started happening.
Right.
And, with life and, putting things down, picking it up, putting things down. So, that's how this one. And so as I wrote it,
Hold it up to this camera here. Yeah, there it is right there. It's called Fireburn, the screenplay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was never intended to be a history book. I have a very strong preface. I said, if you're looking for a history book, don't buy it.
Okay.
This is to start the conversation, and for people who wouldn't ordinarily pick up a history book, for them to start, oh, what is this? And then they get so curious, then they go.
Just start digging a little deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's absolutely, it's been well received. Back in June, it hit the Amazon #1 bestseller.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's very well. And
Did you have to interview anybody for that book?
so this one, back in 2010, I actually was speaking with Wayne James. We had gone to St. Patrick's together, St. Joe's, and then Bradley University. He was there. And he was the one that told me, there's not 3 queens, there's 4. And I'm like, oh man, that's good. But I got some information for him, but a lot of it, I'm Googling, I'm looking at books that was written by Loett's, and I started seeing the different perspectives, like one would say, oh, she was a drunken troublemaker.
Yes,
and I was like, oh, she's a heroine, this is Queen
right.
Mary. So very, very interesting. But when you talk about interviewing, I'm definitely deep into interviewing now, because now that I have this historical fiction,
Right.
and it's being well received, and people are asking me more and more of those questions, I'm like, I'm not the historian, but I happen to know some people that are. And
okay.
they're deeply they're studying it. They're going to Denmark. They're looking at the archives. They're to me, those are the heroes that are doing this.
Okay.
So those are the people that I'm going to be interviewing, and through my media and things that I'm doing to put it out there on a international, Caribbean, and this is a taste. This is fun. It's entertaining. But now let's get the truth out as well.
Yeah. So this is a screenplay. So this was performed on a stage somewhere?
Well, it has not yet.
Okay.
But we've been talking about that as well.
Okay. Okay.
And so what's happening with this is it will be a feature film, but I'm in the process now of actually doing my documentary.
Okay.
So the documentary first, and then we'll go on to that. So this could be a lifelong project. Yeah, because we've learned so much from our strong ancestors. We fight for what's right.
That's right.
And we do the right thing, and we do it in unity. And now, I tell people there are sugarcane fields that can be burned down, but let them be the ones, the figurative ones. Let them be the institutions, the things that hold us back. But we don't actually have to light a match. But sometimes when we stand together, that's really what's happening. We're burning sugarcane fields down. We're burning plantation fields down. But you don't have to kill nobody.
So Angela,
Yes, sir.
While doing this book, what kind of emotions you had going through you? How were you all feeling? What was your thought process doing this?
Yeah. Well, for me, one of the stories, this was a labor of love and also a part of our family history, because my great-great-grandmother Mariah, she was born into slavery and she got to see the emancipation, and she was also an eyewitness to the Fireburn. So I heard these stories, and for me, there's this feeling of pride.
Mhm.
You know, I have the blood of warriors in my veins.
Yes.
But also a sense of sadness that people were enslaved, and then even though slavery was abolished,
Mhm.
they were still treated very, very poorly. You know, these human rights violations. So for me, that's very, very sad. And so in my book, I do this kind of like a twist. This mean, horrible person that's been treating them so horribly, he gets his comeuppings, and that's where the fiction comes in, because I don't know that really happened.
Right.
In the book, that was like a tension release for me. It's like, yeah, you did this to us, this was going to happen to you. So, yeah, just a myriad of emotions up and down. And I go to a lot of the schools now, and I will talk to them, and I'll do like a little performance, and I never want anyone to finish reading any of my books or my movie or anything leaving angry, but to feel inspired, to join hands and to work in unity and to love and to create change, because change needs to happen. But, you know, that's my thing. You know, don't kill nobody about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
So what inspired you to go this route? You could have did anything else, but what made you choose the Fireburn?
You know, I think it was going to this party and hearing my aunts. My aunt is one has passed away, but my aunt Eugenie, my father's sister.
Right.
They were the ones telling me the story about my great-great-grandmother Mariah.
Okay.
And I was like, wow. You know, I'd heard stories about the Fireburn growing up, and then when I realized that my family was there, eyewitnesses, that made me even more curious. And it's
Okay.
such a powerful story.
Yes, it is.
It's very,
you
very
know.
powerful.
As I said to you earlier, that this needs to be taught in school and a regular from each grade all the way up to 12th grade.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, part of our curriculum. You know, because the youth them need to know this.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
This was a very historical part in our history too, in the whole
Yes.
Virgin Islands.
history,
you know,
yeah.
it made history in the sense that through that revolt, they was able to get their freedom and express what was going on, and today too they could have used it back into certain things what's happening here, relevantly. But you know,
Yes.
that's for a whole different
Right.
whole different conversation the next time. But
But you touched upon a point as I was doing some research. Some people say, you know what, July 3rd really wasn't the emancipation. It was really the Fireburn. That was really when freedom truly came, when they made
Came, yeah.
that stance.
stands,
You know,
right.
it wasn't July 3rd. It was
Right,
October
first
1st, 1878.
yes, right.
That's a powerful statement.
Yes.
All right, man. So as we roll on here, our guest tonight is Angela Golden-Bryan. She is an actress, an international speaker, and a published author. And you have another book there.
Yes, yes.
What's going on with the second book?
So,
You've been
James-
doing a lot of writing.
Fireburn. I got this inspiration, and I'm like, I'm going with it. So this one is newly published. This one was published 2018, September 2018.
Okay.
This one is hot off the press, and actually tomorrow afternoon at Undercover Books in Gallows Bay,
Yes.
between 4:30 and 6, they'll have the book launch and signing. So this one is actually a children's book, and it's anti-bullying, and I say human rights because that way, this is for people to learn about us as well. When they hear human rights, that's something they can relate to. Now you pick up the book, you see there's the VI flag, there's the islands, there's my book cover here,
yes.
so it ties it back in. But
Right.
basically, this is about a child that had been bullied, and the teacher, you see, she has on her madras.
Yes, yeah.
You know, the teacher, she teaches them a story about Fireburn and how these laborers had been bullied and oppressed, and how they rose up and they took matters into their own hand, and they were no longer willing to see themselves being bullied. So what happens is at lunchtime, this boy is being bullied, and the whole class joins together because they had just heard the story about Fireburn, and they're
Wow.
like, no, we're not going to accept that anymore. And so I say, she tells a story of courage. Now, how about you?
Mhm.
So that's the whole message, is that we can teach our children through our history. We can take out of it. It doesn't have to be, I mean, it's more than history. It's a lesson.
Yeah, it's a
And
lesson.
It's a lesson. And how do you treat people, and how do you stand up, and how do you join hands and make sure that people are being helped? You know, how do you speak for the
what's important too,
Yes.
bullying is no fun.
It is not.
It's no fun for nobody.
No.
People take their life because they get bullied.
Yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? You know, so.
And on that note, I did get my son's permission, but he was the inspiration behind this. He was bullied very, very badly. He became depressed. He became suicidal.
Mhm.
And so our family firsthand, suffered with him. It was absolutely horrible. So as I sat and I wrote this, when you asked me about the emotions for this one,
Mhm.
this is the one that I sat and tears streamed down my face as I wrote this one, because the pain of bullying is very, very real.
Yeah, it's real. You
Yeah.
see that on social media.
Oh, yeah.
People are committing suicide. Young people
Yes.
getting in basic elementary school, just
Absolutely.
being bullied and having to, take in their lives.
That was his life. So I flipped the story, if you can see here.
Yeah, bring it. Just push it up a little closer. Perfect, right
So
there.
the brown skin one is my son.
Okay.
And I actually flipped the story. I have him being the hero, rescuing the guy that has been bullied.
Bullied, yes.
I said, you know what? And how often in our own lives do we remain victims when indeed we can flip the script,
Of
and we can
course.
change our lives? And that's the other encouragement that I have in this, is that let's start flipping the script. Let's start changing our lives. Let's start advocating for those that have no voice, and flip their script so that everyone comes out a winner.
Okay.
So how the children, when you go to the schools and talk about it, what's the reception? What's the response? What's their take on it?
So this one, because this one is fresh off the press, I haven't had that opportunity yet, but the kids love hearing about this.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter their race. And I think it's because I'm telling them, what is this about?
Right.
Mhm.
And they love it, and they're, Mrs. Bryan, and they're engrossed. They want to know more, because a lot of times the kids are more open than we realize, and sometimes it's the
They're a little bit more open than adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, okay, let's not get political now, but I was gonna say, okay. That is not this show, but the other reason that this was important for me is because we live in a political climate right now where oftentimes it's okay for adults to call people out based on their color, their shape, their ethnicity. And I said, I don't want to be an adult contributing to that. So with a book, and we're saturating our youth with love and truth and history.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to put up on the screen here. You can't see that. I guess this is basically a copy of the front page of the Fireburn, the screenplay. That's there.
Okay, all right.
And then another copy of the James and the Fireburn.
Yeah.
And that you said is going to be debuted at Undercover Books tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's tomorrow's date? Tomorrow is
The
21st.
21st.
Thursday, November 21st.
Well, actually, it's being debuted here now, isn't it?
Well, it's being debuted here.
Yeah, so
Thanks
yeah.
for the exclusive.
Yeah,
Come on, you
right?
guys. There we go, man. It's being we always appreciate
Yeah.
exclusives, so thank you for that. But you'll be at Undercover Books tomorrow
That's right.
from, you said 4 to 7?
4:30 to 6 to 6.
Okay.
Wine and cheese and crackers for the kids. No wine, but cheese and crackers.
Okay.
Okay. The kiddies can come out too, because I will do a dramatic reading of this.
Okay.
So it's very family oriented and
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so
So are you coming back in the near future to go to the schools with this one here?
Yeah, that is definitely my hope, especially the.
talking to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting further and further
Yeah,
away from
yeah,
it. It's like,
yeah.
next I'll be sitting over here. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it is definitely my hope and my dreams. My mother, Martha Golden, was a teacher. She retired in the school system. And I would like to go to all the schools that I went to, in addition to where she taught, where she teached. Okay. She taught me better than that, right? So where she taught, and as a tribute to my mom, and I would just love to do that. And
Okay.
As a gift.
Yeah. to give back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, man. So as we roll on here, I see here that you did an event in Portland, Jamaica.
Yeah, they invited me, so what could I say? I went.
All right. So tell us, I know it happened in January, I guess, from what I'm reading here, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I was invited to go to a Martin Luther King celebration in Jamaica, and to give a performance and to read excerpts of Fireburn, and I gladly accepted. And so I went and we had fun, and Jamaica can definitely relate because a lot of their heroes, they had Nani, they had Bookman, they have a lot of people, they have the Maroons. So a lot of people in the Caribbean have a lot of very similar histories where you look at Haiti, you know.
Yes.
We're all
Yes,
connected.
Absolutely.
We're all connected.
So they definitely resonated with the story of Fireburn,
Okay.
and it was a pleasure to share with them.
Okay. Okay, great. And I also see that you did a little giving back to Queen Louise Home.
Yes.
That's kind of a very near and dear place to me because I used to work for Lutheran Social Services, so
Okay.
I kind of believe in what they're doing there and all the effort
Absolutely.
and that they're going through every day, the staff, just to keep the
Yes.
young people, and even they have adult facilities too that they deal with. But Queen Louise Home specifically is nothing but children running around, young 5, 6, 7-year-old kids.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that too.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm trying to think. It was in the 70s. My mother brought home the most adorable little girl, little 3-year-old, and she was from the Queen Louise Home. She became my goddaughter,
Okay.
and for the entire time that I was growing up, from 3 until until I left the islands, she was my sister. She still is my sister, and we're still in touch today. And she's now a nun. So for me, the Queen Louise Home has always been super special because, I mean, we went there, we would visit the kids, and my mother actually did something about it. She got a foster daughter, got a foster son as well. I'm not in touch with him, unfortunately. I would love to be in touch with him. But so for me, it was just a natural choice. I've been given to them for decades now.
Okay.
And so it was my desire to be able to give even more, and that's my heart, to continue giving back.
Okay. Yeah, I love those guys there. Shout out to Jania. She's the president or the
Okay.
CEO of Lutheran Social Service.
Okay.
But Queen Louise is sort of a separate branch to that.
Yes.
But shout out to that whole crew there.
Yeah.
So that must have been exciting. I see here too that you're also you have a Fireburn Foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you went ahead and sort of added a little business twist to it there.
Absolutely. So the Fireburn Foundation, as I started, one of my philosophies is work smarter, not harder. So I was checking around with a few established foundations already, and they wanted me to start off with like $10,000, and I'm like, you don't have $10,000. And as I started looking at it, I'm like, why can't I just start my own nonprofit? And we actually have the secretary of Fireburn Foundation in the audience. Let's give her. Okay. Thank you very much.
This is sort of a delayed reaction there.
Why not create my own foundation so that I can bring awareness, and my goal is to continue bringing back to the Caribbean. Now, it's an international organization, that's the intent, but with a primary focus on the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Come on, it's my heart.
That's your home?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I named my business Fireburn Enterprises. You can see I might be a little obsessed.
With those two words,
Yes.
right?
It just resonates.
Yes.
It just resonates.
Yeah.
It just resonates with you.
Yeah,
you know.
it really does.
It's in your soul, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my slogan is Fireburn, ignite your passion.
Hot.
And then as I do my motivational speaking, I add ignite your passion without getting burned.
I got you.
Yes.
So as we continue on here, so the other thing that you talk about here, that I guess one of your many hats is an international speaker.
Yes.
So
yes.
what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so for me, like right now, the speaking is focused on my books right now.
Okay.
But as a keynote, prior to 2015, I was doing like women's retreats. I was speaking in nonprofits a lot, especially churches. And 2015, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so, I started pulling back. And it's just been recently that she passed a year ago. And
Condolences.
Thank you for your your blessings. So I'm just now recently getting back to it, and it's like I love to encourage. As I look at our sacred giftings or our spiritual gifts, as people call them, one of my gifts is to encourage people. And so I look at where can I bring a blessing to someone? What is the need right now? And a lot of it is with the bullying and encouraging the parents, encouraging the kids. So right now, my primary focus, I'm also a member of the United Nations Association of United States of America. And as such, I'm an ambassador for gender equality as well as the Women's Board. So I'll speak on their behalf to it with human rights and whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah, so.
Okay. So how does someone get a hold of you to do an engagement?
Yeah, well, Angela, it's under construction, but if you go there is a link to contact me, AngelaGolden-Bryan.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also on Facebook, Angela Golden-Bryan. I try to keep it consistent and simple. On Instagram, I bet you can't guess what I am on Instagram.
Angela Golden-Bryan.
Oh, yes.
You guys are on the delayed reaction over there.
Absolutely. So please, I have a heart for giving and sharing, and please hit me up.
So where have you been as far as travel to speak to an audience?
So before all of this, I was in the military, so I did a lot of that in Spain and whatnot.
Okay,
and
okay.
California with the military. I was a counselor, so I did a lot of speaking to groups and education.
Okay.
So far, it's been Jamaica and throughout Florida, because I'm based in Florida right now.
Okay.
Obviously here. And I was like, did I speak in Cuba? Oh no, I was a tourist in Cuba. That's right. I was under the radar, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I'm getting back. I'm open. I'm ready to go out there. Arizona, just throughout the United States mostly right now.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. There's nothing better than trying to encourage
Yes.
young people with a good,
Absolutely.
positive attitude.
Is there a specific age group that you speak to, or is it open to any age group? Or
You know what? I used to say that my age group, I was very, very specific, was women between the ages of 35 to 85. I was like, so, and then I'm finding that the opportunities that are coming is like, Angela, can you come to my school? Like, what grade? Third grade? I'm like, sure, I can. And as I'm open to just sharing, I'm finding that I'm speaking to younger audiences. I'm going to middle schools. I haven't been invited to a high school yet. Okay. Yeah, so middle school, high schools, women, like whoever will listen to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Okay. And the last thing that was on your title there is the actress.
Yes.
So you acting in movies with Denzel or what?
From your mouth to God's ears. Okay, say that again. In movies with
That was a joke.
Yeah.
That was
Now So in 2015, like I said, I put things on the back burner, but and I'm just getting back into my acting again. But prior to that, like in the span of 5 years, I was on 100 commercials and spokesperson, Food Network, the shopping network, HSN, a whole bunch of stuff, and smaller movies that were entered into film festivals. And, these small, low-budget films that it's like, oh, my gosh, that was so cheesy. I hope that film just burns and no one ever finds it. But if you go to, IMDb and Google my name, you'll see some of, the things that over the years that I've...
Oh, really? I use that website all the time to find out about movies, yeah.
Yeah, so IMDb.
So you're on there?
I'm on IMDb.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
That's saying a lot.
And actually, my daughter, she was the one that came to me in excitement one day, and she says, Mom, do you know that if you Google your name, something comes up? I'm like, really? What comes up? I'm a little afraid. But it's all good.
Okay. Okay.
No, I haven't done anything risque, oh my God, but just embarrassing, oh, that was so cheesy.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You got to look and see what's there, to be honest with you. But, well, that's good, man. So you some commercials and...
Lots of commercials.
So how did that come about? How did you sort of get into that kind of stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
how did people know that you were an actress?
Well, actually, I started acting in St. Patrick's and and in drama clubs and high school and everything.
Okay.
And
So
it's always
you were an
been
actress
And
when I was in 9th grade and you were in 11th? You were an actress?
Yeah, I never call myself an actress. So
Okay.
you're just in a drama club. That's
Okay.
I'm not an actress.
Okay.
I'm in a drama club.
Okay, okay.
So really what happened was in 2006, as I started looking at what do I want to be when I grow up, I'm still trying to figure that out. I was like, I went to an actor's workshop and I listened to these women and they were like, if you have been bitten by the acting bug, it never goes away. So you might as well explore it as a career. And so I got really serious about it instead of just, here and there playing. And I did some musical theater and theater and whatnot. I said, what about television and film? So I got serious. I got my headshots. I started taking classes, building my resume, and I started booking right away. And in retrospect, it's because I wasn't desperate. A lot of people, when they show up, it's like, I've got to do this because I've got to pay my bills. And if I don't, and so it's almost like dating when you're looking for that Mr. Right or Miss Right and you show up all desperate. Woo! That energy just like, it's not going to work. So a lot of people will show up on auditions like, I got to get this job. If you don't give me this job, I'm going to die. Whereas if you go, I'm here to have fun. This is great. Here I am.
Right.
So I was booking quite a bit, and I got a lot of jobs in between like 2006 and 2015, and did
kept you
okay.
busy.
Making some money, and it was
Okay.
just fun. Yeah.
All right, that's cool, man.
So I'm back now. Did a few more commercials, and actually right now I am missing an audition for Tyler Perry.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
You missing because you're here in St. Croix?
yeah, and I'm trying
Oh,
to
man.
figure out a way I can I still do this? Like Tyler Perry, do you hear me? Come on, I want to do this.
He watches the show, so I'm sure
Okay,
he can
good.
give you
All
a
right.
pass.
Okay. All right. I'm Jasmine.
So Angela Golden-Bryan has a new book out. She has a couple books out, but the one that she's going to be talking about tomorrow, she's going to be at Undercover Books. They're right on the screen. Who did your artwork? Nice kind of crisp.
Yes. Now the person, it's interesting. My publisher, who I found, I was in a speakers conference, and I was sitting right next to this guy, and he had this really attractive book, and I was like, this is a really nice book. I'd like to write a book one day. Can I get your publisher's information? He gave it to me, and I contacted her. Everything sounded right. And I started looking around for author. I started making some calls, and nobody would get back to me. I started here, nobody would get back to me. And she says, I have an author, someone who could do your book cover. Have never met this woman, but I love.
But that's the end product.
That is the end product.
Okay.
And a little history behind this here. I started telling her what I wanted. I showed her the inspiration, the Fireburn picture that's hanging in the post office.
Yes.
I sent her that as inspiration, and she started doing it. And the Honorable Senator Myron Jackson, he was able to take a look at it, and he was like, Angela, you know what? That is not historically accurate. The women would not have been having their sleeves out and boobs showing and everything like that. So because of his input, I was able to make it more historically accurate. If you see the one on the side, she wasn't obeying the rules though. She's a little sassy.
Okay.
So she's not accurate. Her head tie isn't accurate. Her cleavage is a little bit more, but that's the story behind that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Angela will be at Undercover Books right here in Gallows Bay, St. Croix. It's not too late to fly on down here.
That's right. Fly if you have to.
Fly if you have to. Get here and go straight there tomorrow. You said from 4:30 to 6:30?
4:30 to 6.
4:30 to 6. I'll get it right.
Yep.
And you said you're going to be doing a speaking or
I'll do a dramatic reading.
a dramatic reading.
Yes,
Okay. A
yes.
dramatic reading
Yeah.
of this book. So young and old are welcome, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The young ones won't get wine though. That's the only.
Yeah.
Unless the rules have changed since I've
No.
no. Okay.
We still the same.
Crackers, no wine.
Crackers, no
Listen
wine.
and try to learn something.
Right.
Test right after. So Angela, I guess we've covered a few things, and as always, Soup and I always like to ask our guests: is there anything else that we need to touch on
Wow.
that we've forgotten to ask you? I think we covered everything. You were on the front page of the Daily News too.
Wow. I was like, wow, was it the front page? Okay.
I think so. I mean, this is how it looks. It looks
Let's
like it was
see,
on the
what is
front
that?
page. or maybe sort of a doctored.
Might have been, yeah.
It looks like it's on the front page.
Okay, all right.
You didn't see that? You didn't see the fresh off the press copy of this?
I'm not trying to think
There's no date on this. Actually, it says August 15th
August 15th.
or August 19th.
Okay. Where'd you get this from? Yeah, this might have been on the front.
It looks like it's on
Wow.
the front.
Wow, that's like big time, man.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
front cover. Wow, okay.
You are big time. You are big time.
I'm just kidding. No.
Another delayed reaction from our
It's my
audience
pleasure,
here.
it's my pleasure, yeah. So I'm thankful to be here, for the reception, and it's just, speaking about it in the States or in Jamaica, yeah, they can relate and it's interesting. Oh, wow, how interesting is that? But when I come here, it's like people know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
it's like, yes, and there's that sense of cultural pride that goes with it. And I love that because now it's like, it's us, it's
Yeah.
we, instead of, okay, yeah, I'm telling you a story about la da da da. Now it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's a very important day, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you're writing about it, and I'm glad that. So, do you remember her from school?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were at St. Joseph also?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was Central all the way.
Okay, Central all the way.
Yeah. So,
All right.
anything else that you
Wow.
wanted to touch on? Anything else that you might be doing?
Let's see, is this where I get my lifeline? Hey, what else? Hey. Well, there are lots of things that I have planned on the horizon, but I'm thinking it might be better to just like let it come out little by little and not just
Pour it right out. Okay,
Right?
I can
Because I want
understand.
to come back, and if I tell you everything now, you might not have me come back.
Oh, you're always welcome.
Ah,
you're
thank you.
always
Thank you.
welcome, man. We
Thank
do.
you so much.
So where can the public reach you if they need to get the books or anything like that? Or just tell us where can anyone get the books them from? If they need you to speak to engagement, how can they reach you, find you?
AngelaGoldenBryan.com is good. You can get me on my website, and right now it's being worked on, but there's still a spot where you can get a hold of me, as well as on my Facebook page, Angela Golden-Bryan, as well as Instagram, Angela Golden-Bryan. I keep it simple.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
definitely, and please reach out. And also, the Jewelry Factory in Christiansted also carries the books. And so whenever I send them, I always make sure that they're autographed copies, so
Okay.
that when you go there, so everybody knows you can go, you can order books from Amazon.com, but you're not going to get an autographed copy if you go through Amazon.com.
Mhm.
Yeah, so please support your local businesses. Go to the Jewelry Factory, go to Undercover Books, get your autographed copy there. When they run out, I send more.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And also, I have like 18 of these left, limited edition. They're going to be there tomorrow as well. So, hey, once they're done, they're done. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
limited
that's
edition,
nice.
yeah.
That's nice.
Just
That's
a few of
nice.
them,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're gonna have those for sale at Undercover Books?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So Angela Golden-Bryan is going to be at
Yes.
Undercover Books right here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. She's going to have books, T-shirts, and you're going to give a
Dramatic reading.
dramatic reading. I don't know why I
Yeah.
can't remember that.
Well, someone, I did it for an audience, and they called it a spoken word. And I was like, I think you only get to call it spoken word if you've already memorized it. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't, this is my book.
Book,
It came out
right.
of my heart, but I haven't memorized it. So I call it a dramatic reading.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Anything else you want to share, or everything is still in the works,
Yeah, let's see.
under development?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, if by, well, I better, yeah. Undercover Books, Jewelry Factory in Christiansted, yes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything, I don't know, I'm trying to think, have we run, oh my gosh, look at the time.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yes. Anything else?
No?
I guess not.
All right.
Yeah.
We're
Thank you so much.
gonna leave it at that. I want to thank you for coming out to the It's Your Perspective talk show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. Soup, any final words?
Angela, wish you the best. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Much
Pleasure.
success and continue to do what you're doing. The Most I gave you, bless you, one perfect love.
I accept it, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And as always, we'll let you have the last word. Share a kind word to a young person that will be watching and tuned in.
A kind word.
Inspirational word.
inspirational word.
Word of wisdom.
Well, I should have primed up out of red. Like what? Basically, we all know what's right, and we all know what's wrong. We know it in our hearts. No one really needs to tell us that. So please do the right thing. Do the right thing. And when you see someone being bullied, talked about, hurt, please stand up for them. It takes a lot of courage to do that. But we're all connected, and let's love one another and help one another and build each other up, not tear them down. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So on that note, we're out. We got another show lined up. You guys stay tuned. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're out. Peace.
I love it.
And the nation speak as one. Hey, hey. I listen to see I from the start of man. Hey, give I just a minute, Rastafari. Try your ear, ya. Say your vibes don't cool long, but not stick up marijuana. So much thing I overtake ya with medulla oblongata. Get a man down know when his information disseminator. Careless in your mouth, Jack can bring about and hunter. In the heights gold and green, where you hold in your lighter. Put them like the African race like a mala. Them they have the goat of tradition in